Today, we're going to be talking a lot about resistance, and we're going to be talking about ways that we can show resistance, ways that we can be resistant of this current system we're fighting against that isn't always outdoor activities, could be protesting. I know you all are hitting the streets, and we're going to talk about that a little bit too with one of our speakers. But rest is so much, there's so many more sides to it. Resistance can look like rest, it can look like joy, it can look like laughter. There are so many ways that we all can be in resistance. And I think that when we find those ways, we're finding ways to take care of ourselves. Because if we keep pushing, we're going to run out of energy. We're going to run out. There's just no way we can keep doing this every day. So finding ways to support ourselves and finding ways to just be can be really imperative to us keeping this fight going. So we're going to talk a lot about that today. I have a couple of really fun speakers I invited to come and chat with us as well. So I'm really looking forward to it. And of course, it could never be an all-member meeting without us having some updates and a lot of updates. There's a couple of programs that are going on right now, and I have the lovely Linda Lowe, Executive Director of WILF, who's going to come and talk a little bit about the mobilizations we've been up to across the country. Um, I know, Linda, I see you on camera. I can start sharing my screen. Is this a good time to start your portion? I'm going to share my screen too. I forgot. Oh
Yes,
gosh, share that.
definitely. Can you hear
Yeah,
me okay, Shelby?
totally can. Totally can.
Right. Cool.
I guess also just before too, I hand over the mic. Uh, I know folks have questions. If you have questions, please put them in the chat so I can look at them and possibly if we ever have to get back to them, we can. And then as well, if I hear any noises, I might mute you. I'm so sorry, just in case. Just in case so we can hear Linda. I'm sorry. So I just wanted to say those two things. But other than that, I'm going to share my screen. And thank you so much, Linda, for being here. I am so happy when you're on our calls because I feel like you just, yeah, I'm just really super excited. So thank you, Linda. I'm looking forward to it. Okay. Oh my gosh, it says March. Oh no, guys, it's still March. I'm just kidding.
We
It's
we
April. Don't look at that.
no, it's
Don't look at
May.
Let's
It's
keep it
May.
pushing.
We're all marching. We're all marching.
Oh, we're all marching. Yes,
Right.
Alan. Thank you, Alan. We
Together in
are
May.
marching. Okay. I'm going to hand it over to Linda. And Linda, whenever you want me to move on to the next slide, I got you.
Sure, thanks, Shelby. Well, you said you're always so happy when I'm in a meeting. I feel the same way about you and everyone
See?
else in the Zoom room. But and Shelby, you know that I love working with you. And thanks for letting me jump in at the top of the meeting. I'm supposed to be in another meeting, but I'm taking a break from that one to be in this one. And well, I want to say hi, everyone. It's so great to see you in the Zoom room. Um, I was asked by Disarm in particular very passionately to come and share some updates today. So I'm happy to do so. And normally we save this segment for later in the meeting, but so thanks for letting me go up at the top. Want to say that I'm so excited about all the things that are happening at WILP, which is such a juxtaposition to what's happening in the world. There's so much heaviness in the world, and at WILP, I feel every day that we are uniting more and mobilizing more. Um, and that is so uplifting to see. And so it's my pleasure to share with you some of the things that I'm seeing, because I'm so lucky I have sort of this like helicopter view where I get to touch in with many different members and branches. And so what I'll start by saying is many of you may have heard by now that because of the way we're unifying across the country, because of the work the branches and the national issue committees were already doing, because of the innovation projects that we've been implementing, WILP is growing, right? I see a new member join every day. I'm lucky I get to see the notifications like Shelby. So as our movement grows, our voice gets louder and our power to act grows more. So beyond the marching and the protesting that everyone has been doing in our communities, the calling campaigns, the writing campaigns to elected officials, there's some really cool other initiatives happening, being driven by members which we at the national office are helping to lift however and whenever we can, if the capacity allows, and if it's something that we know can help benefit a large number of members at WILP and thus their communities. So beyond all of this amazing stuff you're all doing every day, we can go to the next slide. I'm going to share a little bit about what some WILP members are doing in different pockets of the country. I'm so excited to share that members of WILP in New York and New Jersey have been collaborating on an Artivism pop-up exhibit, which will ideally happen this summer, August or September. And this is a number of WILP members, cross-generational in New York and New Jersey, some of them themselves artists, who are talking and collaborating on a Woman in Peace Artivism exhibit. And we at the national office are trying to support that by reaching out to networks, helping to maybe find venues or, you know, food and or allies that can join. But this is member driven, and it's something beautiful to see coming together. So stay in touch for more information on that. And why, by the way, why I share these ideas, why Shelby and I want to share these ideas, it's about seeing what's happening in different branches and sharing it in case other branches want to replicate it or scale it. Kind of similar to how, you know, the Philadelphia branch did the People's Tribunal on Gaza last year, and now the national office is trying to help other WILPers sort of scale that, and you'll hear more about that in a future update. But this is the intention of me showing up and sharing these things. You know, if it resonates, if you want to try it in your community, connect to the branch that's doing it. We'll help you. Let's see what we can do together. If we can go to the next slide. Oh, this is cool. We've got some, again, in addition to all the amazing stuff happening every day with our branches and issue committees, we've got some yogis in WILP that have put up their hand and said, hey, what if we did like a day of yoga for peace? So that's an idea that's simmering. We have some new members in WILP in different cities across the country that kind of been talking about uniting, and we've been helping connect them across the locations because not all of them are in locations that a branch is in. So they're sort of creating their own pod. So that's exciting to see. And if that develops into something bigger, we'll definitely share the information out in case other branches want to share that out too. I've been doing yoga for 20 years, so I'll definitely be involved if this happens. If we can advance to the next slide, Shelby. Oh, this is a fun one. Young WILP US. So many of you, some of you have probably heard about this Young WILP cohort that we've been creating in WILP, ages 18 to 35. If you're a member within that age bracket, we chose that group, that age bracket, because that's what WILP International calls their Young WILP cohort, 18 to 35. Want to be clear that anybody that joins WILP, we consider them a Young WILP member, we connect them to their branch, to their local branch. So we have like, I don't know, maybe 30 Young WILPers now in WILP. That's
Yes.
huge. You know, last year when I joined, 14 months ago, we had like 2. So that's a lot of growth, and it speaks to the moment we're in. We've become the activist home for people when they didn't even know that they needed or wanted an activist home, and WILP has become that. And so I want to be clear, if there's a WILP member, oh yeah, the slides are moving, Shelby, I'm not sure why, but if there's a young WILP member, we always make sure to connect them to their local branch. And if they don't have a local branch, they get tagged to Jane Addams as per usual. So you might be wondering, like, why haven't I seen this young person in my branch? It just means that they haven't joined in your city, but they've joined in your city. We're trying to connect them to you. But they came together, they meet once, sort of every 4 to 6 weeks in Zoom nationwide, and they talked about needing uplifting moments to really shine light on the peace building they're doing and that others are doing. And this conversation started, I'll say, somehow randomly we started talking about the Nobel Peace Prize. And how last year there was some controversy, let's say, about some of the candidates and some of the appointees. And, some of the conversation in Young WILP was, we would not give a Nobel Peace Prize to some of these folks, but there are some folks that really are doing amazing work that we want to recognize. So they are playing with this idea of developing a Megaphone Awards project. And if they do it, they're going to want to invite other WILPers into this to be, help organize that. So more information to come as that, if and as that develops. If we can advance the next slide. Yes. So yes, this is the final slide that I'm here to present. And I'm presenting this on behalf of and in partnership with the Disarm End Wars National Issue Committee. I can't see your faces, but Cheryl, Eileen, Ellen, I showed up here for you. um, um, okay, what I'll say is WILP women and allies have always mobilized in August um, to commemorate Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And Ellen Thomas and I just saw your chat there, Ellen. I had this beautiful opportunity to meet Ellen in person over lunch and hug her in her person last year when she came through Seattle on her way to Hiroshima. And we both shared our own personal experiences, not necessarily in a nuclear war zone, of course, but our experiences either mobilizing against them. You all know Ellen's a legend, lived in front of the White House for 18 years to oppose our war and nuclear. I myself, supported a response in Japan a few years ago when there was a nuclear disaster with the Red Cross, all these things. And we said to each other, I said to Ellen, I said, I feel like people aren't, this was last year, remember, last August, aren't really like paying attention to this because the idea of something that horrific being possible feels so impossible. And I'll say that I speak for the younger generation. I know that our legacy women at WILP, you've all told me about when you were younger, you had to do drills, anti-nuclear drills. And the kids don't do that these days. They do other drills, unfortunately, like shooter drills. But anyways, so last August, Ellen and I were having this conversation. Fast forward to now, wow, nuclear kind of seems much more real, doesn't it? And I know all of us know it's real, but it feels more palpable because of the US driven wars that are happening right now. So when one of our member meetings, I don't remember which one, I'm in so many, somebody talked about, hey, what about this idea germinated? Like, what about a Hiroshima walk, a Hiroshima or Nagasaki Day walk from August 6th to 9, where we try to get branches across the country to mobilize in this common walk at the same time on a common day, like, maybe 12 local time or something like that. And we bring in neighbors, we bring in friends, we bring in allies, and really, really shine light on this reality of nuclear war, the history of it, and the US role in it, using what happened in Hiroshima, reminding people to remember what happened. So I started talking with Disarm End Wars and saying, what do you think? Ellen and I and Shelby and I got in a call actually with the women cross the demilitarized zone, talked to them about this too last week. And there's good energy here. And this is us testing the WILP system. A lot of the innovation programs you've been seeing lately this year, like School of Peace and Freedom, like Crafting Justice Memorial Quilt for Gaza, that's been driven by the national office. And to sustain this kind of innovation, we want to start embedding this kind of innovation within the existing WILP branches, within the existing national committees, to actually lead or co-lead, to sustain it over time. And I'm so happy to say that the Disarm End Wars co-chairs, they welcomed this idea. We've been talking about it, and we hope very much to build it into something bigger together. What I'll say is we also have an intern that's joining us soon that's going to be researching the gendered impacts of nuclear threats and nuclear war. She's going to be doing a combination of academic desk research and oral history interviews, interviewing some WILP women and other people that are experts or have lived experiences in war or impacted by nuclear threats. And so we're hoping that her research will sort of inform the creation of a toolkit, much like if you're familiar with the Pieces and Pieces Not campaign. I'm hoping that together in partnership with Disarm and End Wars, we can create a similar toolkit that branches can use, that members can use. So please stay tuned. I'm excited about this potential mobilization. And Ellen, Shelby, please, if I've missed anything about this Hiroshima walk idea that we've been talking about together, please say so. I have the memory like a goldfish, but I'm not seeing any hands. I'm
No,
not seeing Ellen.
I don't have anything to add. Ellen, was there anything for you?
Um, well, I think it would be a good idea if we could have a meeting or meetings of people who are interested in collaborating on this. And I'm not sure how we would go about doing that, but Wilk branches and individuals within the Jane Addams branch, as I recall, are always doing something for Hiroshima week, and I'm wondering what we would be doing that is different under this.
I
Yeah,
think
I mean, oh,
go
please,
ahead,
Shelby,
Linda.
go ahead. No, you go, you go.
I was going to say that a good way forward would be to, for any of the programs that we just mentioned, if any of it sounds interesting, if you like yoga, if you are a yogi like me and Linda, if any of these things speak to you, you have my email, or you should have my email, shelby@wolfus.org. And if we just get a hand of how many folks could want to chime in to this or that, and that would be helpful for us, like with the planning that we do to make these programs a reality. Now, Linda, go ahead and chime in wherever you see.
Well, yes, absolutely. And to speak to Ellen's comment, I think we wanted to lean in on Hiroshima and Nagasaki commemoration because we know that Wilts women are already passionate about it. And we know that Wilts women do different things in their different communities, which is great. On top of that, could we also mobilize around a common initiative? And this is where the idea of the Hiroshima walk came in. Walk to your city hall, walk to your park, walk to your whatever, um, convene a bunch of people. So, like a smaller version of No Kings, but led by Wilts, reminding people of what happened, reminding people of Wilts' leadership role in the nuclear disarmament space, and bringing allies with us. And the one thing I forgot, Ellen, to mention is you're reaching out to Wilts and Hiroshima to see if they can partner with us on this too.
Yeah. And I see a couple hands up. We have a super tight schedule. I see Teresa, Lois, Odile. What I'm going to ask is for any questions or comments on this section, just know all so relevant. I'll be staying on a little afterwards, and I'd love to write down anything that folks have to say, want to ask, or like things they want to comment on so that we can track it all and make sure that we're addressing them at some point. But I have to keep moving on so that I can hopefully let you all leave at a normal
Yeah.
time. Hopefully.
Thank you, Shelby. Thank you. Sorry, I took more than 5 minutes,
No,
and now
no,
I'm late for
no.
my other meeting too. Okay.
No, 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 no. It's okay. It's okay. Bye, Linda. Thank you.
See y'all
Okay.
later. Bye.
Bye. Okay, I see Teresa, Lois, or Deal. Hold on to any questions. I'll make sure to tap into those, and hopefully maybe if I keep going, we could have 5 minutes at the end so that I could really address anything, or just like make comments, write it out, whatever that looks like. So hold your questions. Hold them. Okay. So the next thing that I wanted to do with folks was, like I said before, we're going to be talking about resistance today. Thank you all so, so much too for just hearing about some of the mobilization updates that we always have. If I could chime in at anything else, I'm going to also at the end show you how it's been going for our Crafting Justice program, or Crafting Justice quilts. I got to show a couple people on this call, like Eileen and Jan, some of the quilt tiles that we've received. But we've received some really, really, really beautiful tiles for that program, and I'm really looking forward to showing you some pictures. So I have a question for folks. Like I said, today we're going to be talking about how resistance isn't just one thing. It's not just protests or showing up to marches. It can be, obviously, like some of the pictures that we showed, but it's also rest, joy, research, community care, all of these things that keep us going. Because if resistance only looks like burnout and only looks like us pushing ourselves, we will lose people a part of the program. So it's important that we find moments so we can create a movement or create moments that are sustainable. So I want to do a quick reset before we jump into our speakers, but I wanted to ask folks in the chat, what has resistance looked like for you lately? I'm going to put this in the chat right now, and I'll repeat the question. Um, What has resistance looked like for you lately? Now, I know folks have been getting out, getting active, and this is really, 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 really important. But have you been taking moments? And I guess I'll speak for myself. I'm working on finding moments every day of laughter, to find moments of joy, and to spend time with people that I love, or doing things that like fill my own personal cup before I get back into the work. Before I talk about any of these big issues that we talk about a lot, um, those are some of the things that I do for myself. Yes, thank you, Odile. Taking minutes or doing things of peace. I love that. Taking minutes. You all, I feel like the issue committees, they are so on it with the taking minutes. They will do that in a heartbeat. It's so incredible. So, meditating, walking on. Thank you so much. Thank you for all the comments too. I appreciate it. Perfect. Paying attention to situations that are happening. That's also really important, George. Feel free, go ahead, put anything in the chat of what resistance has looked like for you recently. Yes, and prayers. Okay, George, I like that too. There any other things or ways that resistance has looked like for you that's been just, I don't know, supportive of your growth? Hiking and being present in nature without technology. Yeah, I struggle with that one. Without technology, I feel like it's so hard to detach. But those are some things, right? Those are some things that we do for ourselves. So I know that we send out a lot of emails. We send out a lot of emails about ways that y'all can be active. And I wanted to highlight a couple of people that I've been working with here at WILF, talking to here at WILF on ways they have been supporting WILF's mission, supporting or being a resistor, a type of resistance that also is different than maybe what we typically see, or maybe is something new that they're creating all on their own. So I invited three people to come and talk about some of the work that they've been doing to promote resistance in their own life. So first, I feel like a dear friend of mine at this point, Anjali, Anjali, who's doing really powerful work connecting research, systems, and peace building all together. And then I have Jan Quarterman, one of my liaisons, who's connecting local organizing to broader movements like May Day. And I have some pictures too of the Iowa Wolf members doing some stuff outside. It's pretty fun. And then lastly, I have another young Wolf member named Emily Costello, who's been building connections at local conferences like the Feminist Peace Campus, one that she was able to attend this year. And those are the type of things that also promote resistance is not always protesting, but being able to connect with new people and build community or showing up in new spaces. So I want to share the floor, give each person the opportunity to talk for just a couple minutes about what work they've been up to. So I'm going to hand it over to Anjali so that she can talk too. So I'm going to spotlight you if that's okay. Okay.
That's fine. Hi. I thought the lighting would be much better, but I suppose not. So you can see.
It looks great.
So I hope you can all see me. It's so lovely to meet everybody. I've been to a few meetings, so you might have seen me or hear me always talk at some meeting before, but it's very lovely to meet everyone here again. I hope you're having a really good evening. A little bit about myself. My name is Anjali. I am a peace building researcher, um, mostly for post-conflict. So I've been to Latin America, India, Africa, where else? A lot of countries, and the United States as well. And I collect research on post-conflict to local work as well. Um, I have my master's from NYU, Global Affairs, but I specialize in peace building and gender research. Um, so I started my own independent research initiative called Brown Girl Project, which focuses on women of color in the US and especially on identity research. Obviously, I am a woman of color, so this topic is very near and dear for me. And it kind of came kind of naturally to me through my work. But for those of you who might not know much about research or don't know what identity research is, ultimately, I spent a lot of time at different nonprofits, working on advocacy and activism, but identity is rooted in how we believe we see ourselves. So I think a lot of times I've noticed in research, and this is my opinion, so anyone can feel free to disagree, but we romanticize the oppressed or marginalized. And I think a lot of time women of color fall into this category. And it's obviously true. We are a minority, women of color. But I think from a research realm, it's very interesting to see and get an unbiased scope of research when we don't put labels or people into boxes. So Brown Girl Project's initial question was, do you identify as a woman of color? And if so, how? And that was our initial research. This was originally my capstone project for my master's, and I believe this happened 3 years ago. And it was very interesting to see people's responses from back then to now. I'm based in New York, so I got the chance to go. I don't know if anyone here is from New York, but I was at the time living in East Harlem. So I was able to go to a lot of neighborhoods and conduct interviews in Spanish and with friends. And I was able to collect their stories, and that's how I decided that 3 years later that I'm going to fully make this independent research initiative. Why independent research initiative? We're still in the beginning phases, and we meaning it's completely just I. So there's no funding, just me and my passion, but it's slowly building and we're getting visibility. So I hope to grow this more. Recently, I conducted an investigation with 22 participants and I called them everyday people because ideally, this type of research or Brown Girl Project, the whole point is to aim. Um, sorry, I took notes and I cannot even find them. We are, so I got 22 participants and we just published our first report. And I asked them, do you identify as a woman of color? And if so, how do you do this? We even have an established methodology and we use trauma-informed practices. And the whole point of Brown Girl Project for me, which I've seen through my years of work, is to bridge this gap between academia or research and the communities that we're interviewing. So I think a lot of times that in advocacy, we are so quick to write these reports, but it doesn't go back to the communities. Even I've seen abroad that it doesn't go back to the local or in this color woman of color. So Brown Girl Project really aims to have two branches, a research branch, and we have the reports. We're on LinkedIn. If anyone knows how to navigate LinkedIn, please help me. But we're on LinkedIn and we share our reports, what we do, our findings. Our findings are very technical in a sense in the report, but I'm trying to also show researchers how we can expand our realm into research and do take different approaches in this type of research. And I call it listening labs. They're focus groups where we can do this. And then we also have a community branch, which I think is unique and very important. And we're trying to form community with the participants that we interviewed and women of color, which is very hard. So we're translating reports into how do we get these technical terms and these analysis to the community itself. So we just had a session yesterday that Shelby was part of, and thank God she's been there for everything. But I asked them, I show them in plain words what I found, and I say, what do we want to see? So it's more about listening and how can we approach this. And then people have said social media, which I'm not crazy about, but a lot of people are. So how can we translate these reports into social media, perhaps podcasts? If you have any ideas, please let me know. And then we're also trying to form community because these interviews really showed me that human authentic connection is very important and is severely lacking these days because we all know why. But I think it's very important to get people together and talk about their life and be able to feel vulnerable in front of other people. But I will put the website, which is having issues, but I will put it so you can copy and paste it, my email and the Instagram for anyone who uses Instagram, if you want to contact me. But if this is something that resonates with you or you know someone who would be interested in this work, I hope you feel free to contact me. And I would love to even get to just know each of you and hear what kind of work you've been up to. And I love any kind of suggestions. Or if this type of research interests you and you know somebody who's interested in facilitating this kind of work, I would love the opportunity as well to help them with that and give my advice as well. And like I said, we're in the beginning stages. This is my first time building a project or NGO like this, so I am looking for visibility and funding. And if you have any advice on that, I would love to hear anyone's advice on anything really. So I'm gonna copy and paste everything here and put it in this chat. And thank you all so much for listening to me.
Oh my gosh, thank you, Anjali. And if I could too, I'm going to just do something really quick. So I've read through Anjali's reports, and if you, for example, like use LinkedIn, she's taken all these wonderful thoughts and comments from women of color and created reports that highlight those insights from those conversations on what it's like to be women of color in America today. And I really love them. I love the color scheme. That's a big thing too for me. I love the pink. So this is some of the things that Anjali uses her powers, her wisdom, her energy, and puts it to because there's so many things going on around the world. So to find something to combat and to be a part of this work. And there's so many different ways to do it. So yeah, this is the kind of work that she creates. It's really cool. So, okay, I'll stop sharing and I'll stop talking about you. And
Oh, I'm so sorry. Can I cut in real quick?
feel
I
free.
just
Yeah.
get so passionate about this, but because I also specialize in field research and we're talking about resistance, uh, I have another project, but it's more on field research. I'll just put the website down because we don't have time. But it's about the same theme, but this one focuses on voices of resistance abroad. And I saw somebody comment on something abroad, so that got me excited. And I'll just put the website here so you can peruse, but that one's more like documentary work on resistance and politics in Latin America. But again, thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it a lot. I appreciate you being here. Okay. So I am going to toss the mic over to our next speaker, our next featured speaker, Jan Quarterman. Jan Quarterman is one of my liaisons. I work really closely with her, and she's been organizing in Iowa. And I'll be honest, I don't talk about Iowa enough. So I feel like I see moments and mobilizations happening around the world. So to highlight something that's really moving and jump in from a wonderful organizer, I'm looking forward to it. So I have a couple pictures from the work, and I'm going to share my screen and let Jan talk for however long. And let me know too, Jan, whenever you want me to move to the next slide. I got you.
Oh, okay. Sure, sure. Yeah, thanks for doing the slide, by the way. Well, I want to spend some time talking about May Day. I was excited this year as a union person to see May Day come to life here, and I see some of my union sisters on this call. Teresa and Joan are a couple of people that I've talked to about our days doing union stuff. So May Day has been a big event in other countries for over 100 years, but you'll talk to most of your friends and neighbors and they're really not aware of it. And it actually started here in the US. The roots are in Chicago, where in May of 1886, workers fought together to establish safer working conditions and an 8-hour workday. And on May 4th, 1886, over 100,000 workers walked off their job in Chicago to make their demands heard. Well, the police agents and the company thugs harassed the workers, escalating tensions, violence broke out, leaving 2 people dead and several injured. So the next day, the unionists got together and they had a meeting in Haymarket Square. You maybe heard of the Haymarket riots. The very next day, as police moved to disperse the crowd, someone, still not identified even to this day, threw a bomb. And an estimated 8 civilians were killed and as many 40 were wounded, and also 8 police officers also died. So they arrested 8 people subsequently, and despite the fact that only 3 of those 8 were even there that day. So they arrested 5 people that were not even present that day. 4 were hanged. A 5th took his own life the day before his execution. 2 were initially sentenced to death, but in later years, the Illinois governor commuted their sentences to life imprisonment, and one of those was later pardoned. And then the 8th one was sentenced to 15 years and eventually got a pardon also. So I didn't know this till I did a little Googling. May Day has long been a day of commemoration for Indivisible. And I imagine many of you here are connected with Indivisible. I know we are in our branch. But the co-founder, Leah Greenberg, has been thinking about May Day and done some stuff in the past. And this year, her vision really came to life here in the US. And she had a goal of a nationwide strike action. And I want to quote her. We want to send a clear message. We demand a government that invests in our communities, not that enriches billionaires, fuels endless wars, or deploys masked agents to intimidate our neighbors. So this day, as I'm sure everybody here knows, and maybe many of you participated in it, there were events all across the US. And here we had 2 events. Our branch participated in both of them. The Party of Socialism and Liberation sponsored one of them. And LULAC, the League of Latin American Citizens, sponsored a second one. And they featured labor leaders as their speakers. And the 2 groups got together and they made sure that the events were at different times so you could go to both of them. And many, including our branch, did go to both of them. Some great signs, and maybe we can look at some of those now. And of course, the big one was no school, no work, no shopping. And that was kind of the theme. And there's one that kind of talks directly about that theme. Here's our branch and some of our signs. And this is kind of our downtown area, really neat area, a park kind of in the middle of a bunch of buildings. And yeah, go ahead with the next one. Yeah, this was the second one. And so we lined the streets. This is a busy street we were on, and the people went, just rows and rows and rows, lines and lines, but people up at the highway, not the highway, but a major street. So hate has no home here. Just wonderful signs all over. That big orange one was a huge sign. So I think people did a really good job. Really came out. And maybe the next one. This one, kind of a nice one. Just let you take a look at it and harken back to the No Kings Day. So I got a kick of this one, had to take a picture of it. And then I think there's one more maybe. Yeah, here's one of our members and her signs. And I like how she combined everything, put everything together when it comes to ICE. So I want to get a picture of her, and that's Lori Jones, who some of you have met from our branch. I think that might be it. Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
So yeah. So we went there, and our message was solidarity, but we also leafleted. We had tons of our leaflets to inviting everybody to attend our Nakba event. And that is going to happen this Saturday. And on Saturday, we'll have flags and keys and poster boards with information about the Nakba. We're going to have over 100 pinwheels with the names of children who have been martyred due to bombs thrown and bullets fired by the Israeli Defense Forces. And really, this ongoing reality for Palestinians, this wasn't just that one day 7-8 years ago, but it's still happening. So, and I'm excited because we're going to be joining Nakba commemorations in the Palestinian territories and the diaspora, international solidarities from around the globe, and at the United Nations, where the UN Palestinian Rights Committee will hold a special meeting at the UN in New York, of course, from 10 to 1 on the 15th. And you can always flew into their stuff if you have a chance to take a look at that on the 15th.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Jan.
Oh,
Oh, go ahead.
yeah.
Sorry.
I got a little bit more.
Yeah,
I'm
of
almost done. And this next part is important too, so I got to get it in. So when we reflect about May Day, I'm reminded that our co-founder and our first president, Jane Addams, stood up for workers, stood up for their rights. And because of her work in her community, her Chicago community, her voice was heard. She was always working out of Hull House. Well, not always, but Hull House was a very popular place. She supported the founding of the Chicago branch of the Women's Trade Union League. She encouraged unions to host meetings at Hull House, opened up Hull House to unions for their meetings. And she used her popularity and her respect that she gained in the community. She worked for child labor laws. She defended workers. She argued for the needs of unions. And because of that, both sides really had to listen to her. Labor and management both really had to listen to her. And the big one, the big one that you mostly hear about was her work in settling the Pullman strike in 1984. And in that one, she was chosen as an arbiter. So she was chosen by both sides to be the arbiter and a member of the Citizens Arbitration Committee. So I want to close with one of her quotes. Let me see which one I want. I'm going to do this one. To paraphrase and illustrate, this is a quote from Jane Addams. To paraphrase an illustration used by the Webbs, the factories say to the community, you have educated the children in the public schools. Now please give them to me for my factory. I will use them until they begin to demand an adult's wages. Then I will turn them back out again. If I have broken them down, the community will take care of them in the poorhouse and the hospitals. So yeah, that's what I wanted to share today. Thank you. Thank you, Shelby, and everybody here.
No, thank you. Thank you, Jan. I appreciate it. Oh, I want to thank both first last two speakers. I was excited to highlight some of the work that folks can do that support our resistance, support our movement, that also might be different. It's nice to know Iowa City is doing really, really awesome work. And then also the research aspect from Anjali, I was excited that folks got to learn. I have one more person who's here, and her name is Emily. And Emily was one of the first, if not the first, Young Wolf member that we ever recruited to come onto Wolf. I'm sorry to put that pressure on you, Emily, but I'm being so serious. I think you were the first person I ever talked to. The fact that you keep coming back, I'm so grateful. We had the ability to send Emily to, and I say we had the ability to, the ticket was like $25. Okay. So it wasn't anything crazy. We weren't sending her to a conference that was, I don't know, across the world, but it was a conference for the Feminist Peace Campus. And I was thinking another way for us to be showing resistance for us to be a part of this work is to enter new communities, into new spaces, and to learn from one another in places we might not always be. So I know that a bunch of us too sometimes travel to conferences ourselves just to go and just to learn and be in community with like-minded people. So I wanted to hear from Emily what her perspective was going to that conference and how it connects back to WILF and what we do.
Yeah, so thank you for the introduction, Shelby. I'm sorry my camera's so zoomed in on me and the lighting's bad, so I hope you can still see me well enough. Just rushed back from work. But yeah, it's great meeting everyone. I don't think I've been in one of these meetings yet. So just to know a little bit about me, I'm based in DC right now, and I just finished a master's program at George Washington University. And so I focus a lot on international affairs, Middle Eastern studies, international development, particularly gender-based responses. And so this conference that like Shelby mentioned to me just seemed really intriguing to me, especially since I don't really have too much of a network in terms of like, you know, feminist leaders in DC right now. So yeah, it was wonderful to be able to attend. There were definitely like a lot of it was just really great energy being in there. And there were like lots of undergrads, so there was like a difference with the in that level per se, but there were lots of great people that I was able to network with. And yeah, it was just wonderful energy. I felt like, what's the word? reinvigorated, I guess, seeing that, especially seeing younger people that are in college and like leading so many projects. There were a lot of like little tabling areas right next to like the main speaker stage. And there are lots of like undergrads like leading their own clubs that were like more international, also not international, national. I'm sorry. Just I had a long shift at work, so my brain is gone. But yeah, like national branches. So yeah, they're doing incredible work. And, I got lots of pamphlets from everybody. And yeah, there were lots of little like breakout rooms that we attended. I went to one focused on like the umbrella organization has like a project focusing on supporting women in Afghanistan that's been going on for a while. I think at least since 2021. Since since the fall of the government and the rise of the Taliban and everything. So yeah, that was really wonderful. We had a woman who was on like the United Nations Human Rights Commission for Sudan, and also she was in the government in Afghanistan. So she was in politics and government for her whole life. So that was really amazing. And just chatting with her was great. So yeah, it was, I don't want to take too much time since I know we have like a schedule, but yeah, I just wanted to say that it did feel really inspiring being there. I definitely created like a whole new network for myself in DC, which is great. And then also, since I'm focused on gender-based violence responses, I learned a lot about, like, we had like a whole topic on like abortion and what that, like the access that looks like and what the actual drug is, since I didn't know too much about that. So knowing these things is not only important just as a woman in America right now, but also like for my career. So I think that, yeah, it was very, I had good energy from it. I met a lot of great people, and yeah, I'm really glad I got to go. And Linda sent me like a little bag, which was really cute, a little purple bag, which arrived the day after, unfortunately, but it was very cute, and I did appreciate it. And yeah, I'll keep it short, but yeah,
It's so beautiful. And I wanted to show that bag because we literally sent Emily a
yeah,
bag so Emily could walk around and tell people about Will. It's this bag. Oh, you
yes,
can
it's
see it. I
really
don't know if you
nice.
can see it, but it is so cute. And it arrived the day after. So
Yeah,
couldn't wear the bag. It's okay though. That's how life goes. But
yeah.
okay, Emily, thank you so, so much. Thank you for
Thank
sharing.
you, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much for making your way, especially off work, coming right here. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Anjali Jan, from research to organizing local meetups to attending conferences, meeting like-minded people and learning from one another to this last section, which is all about art. I know we promoted so much, but we really want folks to use their hands and to create from their brain, from their noggin, put their ideas and the way that they are impacted by what's happening around the world into art. So I know we talked about it like 2 sessions ago, but the Crafting Justice program or the Crafting Justice project that we're working on with the City of Asylum in Detroit is ending soon, which means 150 people around the world are sending in their quilt tiles to be assembled into a large quilt. A quilt that is in solidarity with the movement and also in support of Palestine and all those who we've lost. So I wanted to show you what some of those quilt tiles look like. This is just a bit of it, not all of it, but I really hope you all think they're just as beautiful as I do. So here are some of the tiles that we've received already of people around the world who have taken their love and passion for this work and put it into art. So we'll see even to this one up here in Gaza, even the olives bleed. That's actually not even from the US. That is from a wonderful activist in Ireland who sent that over a couple of weeks ago. I can't believe it made it. I can't believe we received a package from Ireland. That's crazy. So those are the kind of things that we want to promote folks to do, which is to take your love and passion for this work and use your hands, use your brain, anything that speaks to you, and be a part of this resistance in a way that you're still keeping yourself okay. You're still able to be sustainable through this work. So I wanted to show some of those pictures to you because I think they're really beautiful. Speaking of which, I have to do my tile. Haven't done it. So we'll see how that goes. I'm definitely not an artist, especially not even in comparison to some of the folks that submitted their own tiles. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what I come up with. We'll see. Okay. So we're coming down to an end. I want to say, I give you that last minute spiel that I always do, which is, so we still have that program we're doing right now for folks who refer anyone to WILF. We've been doing it for a while, not just because we want people to bring others in, but because we have some really cool prizes that we actually have stored that we wanted to give away. I give this part every session, but every referral that you give to WILF and bringing someone into the fold, we have a book for you. And these books have been written by WILF members. So it's really exciting that you're able to get a piece of work that was written by a WILF member for a WILF member to thank you for doing the work that you do. And then two, we still have shirts and we have other things too. I hope we have more bags one day. That's my biggest thing. I think that we will be making more, and I think that we'll be able to give even more out so folks can strut their stuff at the local Sprouts like I do when I go and grab my coffee in the morning. I don't know if anyone has Sprouts, but I love Sprouts, so probably didn't need to say that. Okay. All right, well, I know we're ending a little earlier. Oh, and there's those pictures. I'm going to stop sharing. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I just wanted to say thank you all so much for coming, for being a part of our monthly meeting. Today, we're going to end a little early. We're going to just a couple minutes early so I can give you back the rest of your